One thing has started troubling me now. Not like troubling me, but one thing that has been a little bit of concern for me is people, a lot of people don't question things. I used to be, I don't know, maybe when I was younger, I thought I used to be a person who doesn't question things. I've always questioned, I'm actually the type of person, the kid that's always been like, asking questions about things when I was young. When adults or my parents say, don't do this, don't do that, drinking it is bad, certain things is bad behavior, I will ask, like, why and why so? And I will argue a different point of view. I will always have that, I don't know, rebellious nature maybe, but I always have questioned things in life. And I will always doubt things that doesn't make sense to me. And I realize that these days there's a lot of people that have a lot of ideas or opinions, or I would say things they hold to be true, they believe to be true, but when you ask them why they think them to be true, they'll just be like, it's just bad, right? And then it's so hard to debate or like, talk about things with such people. And I realize that people just don't like people not don't like to question things, and they also don't like to get to the deeper level of things, and don't want to admit certain things as well, because it leads to a lot of flaws about themselves, I guess. I am also guilty of that in the past, where I would just have certain ideas or perspective or perspectives, and I'll be like, that is true just on its own. You don't need further, explanation or anything. But when you truly believe something from your own thoughts, from your own self, you will be able to explain certain things. There will be no such thing as questions you can't answer, you know? So that leads to today when I like to talk about questioning, questions or thinking, which I think is very useful, to have in life, where you can be able to think about things. People in society these days rarely think for themselves. They'll take things as medias will say certain things like, certain democracy is good, eating banana is good, eating 3 meals a day is good, fasting once a week is good. So many opinions, but most people can't back themselves up, and they'll just say things are true without any good reasoning. For the fact in life is like there's no such thing as good and bad. It's just is. But you can have a opinion where you say it is for you or it is not for you. And if you like certain thing, you should be able to back it up. And people don't really question why things are the way they are. They will be like, I'm stuck in a loop, or like they will be like, alcohol is like not that bad. I for myself used to hold an opinion where alcohol is really bad for you. There are other things that's more, I would say, a healthier option or a safer option, but could have been illegal. Legality. People don't question legalities. They don't question why certain things are illegal. Like things, I wouldn't get in there yet, but they don't question why things are the way they are. And sometimes that's really hard to, I don't know, really hard to see. I have now reached a point where I don't persuade people anymore. In one point in life, I'll be a little bit strong about my opinion, where I'll tell people about my opinion, and I'll be like, yeah, this is this, and I want them to think the same way. But now I'm also am able to accept, like, we just think differently, agree to disagree, right? But the main thing is people should at least question their own beliefs, their own ideas, or at least see why they think a certain way. And the most important thing people should question instead of other things is you should question yourself. Where, why do you believe a certain thing to be true, you know. It could be religion, politics, health, anything, you know. You should question where this belief came from and if this belief is true or not. You know how doctors have been saying, I mean, not doctors, but then you know, there are always things where these professionals or something like gurus will say certain things is good and sometimes they'll reverse it and say it's bad. Egg is one of those things where, you know, in the past it said you can eat a lot of eggs, it's healthy for you. And somehow in the middle of our time, they were like, you can only eat a maximum of 2 eggs per day. Now it's more like you can eat it according to the macronutrients, right? There's so many things that keep changing and so many things to trust. Doctors to hospital, especially healthcare is something I always is sus about, you know, like a lot of healthcare pharmacy, they make money off. I'm not being a I am maybe a little bit being a conspiracy theorist right now in a sense where not a lot of healthcare and professional want the best for you, you know. Doctors, maybe they want good for you, but not hospital or a lot of things in general, right? Like government maybe, but hospital and healthcare and pharmacy don't want you to be healthy because if you are truly healthy, right, they cannot make money. They're very capitalist based, and that is true. There are good people out there, definitely, but most big ones are not really good for you. Soda companies, sugar is really bad for you. Yet people are eating so much sugar these days, and it's just okay, you know. Food is one of those things where they said in the past where carbs should be 70% of the diet, but honestly, carb is not that great, you know. Maybe 20 to 30%. Maybe it's like fat and protein is really great for you, not carbs. And things like that, you know, people don't question them, and it baffles me. And people just take it as it is. There's like, you must eat your breakfast. First meal of the day is a must. Some say you can skip it. I would say like question it, think about it, and choose what's best for you, right? You know? And then because of this, you know, we can say that we're not as free as we think we are. We are also bound socially where you have to agree with what most people are agreeing with. You know? In the past, people thought the earth was flat. People have to like agree with that, even though there's some people who can think and say, you know, it could be round, you know. Yeah, a lot of things in life, people just don't question it. And I think questioning is great, you know. Think about it, explore, talk to people with it. Don't be an ass, you know, but have a good talk. And there'll always be a point where you can't agree to disagree, you know. Different opinions. You never know. But yeah, authority, society, and you know, sense of belonging can blind people about a lot of things. Another thing you question is like one thing in social thing that I didn't like is like, you know, recently, you know, I've been you know, it has happened to me where a friend, you know, I wouldn't say a friend, but like, you know, acquaintance will dislike you just because there are people around them dislikes you, and they will never think about questioning anything, you know, and not experience things for themselves. Yeah, people just really need to think for themselves, question things, you know. And the most important thing is you have to question yourself. I find myself questioning myself a lot every day until I find an answer, you know. And once I reach that answer, you don't have to question that anymore. That part is like, you know, finished, where you're like, okay, you thought things through, and you know why you are the way you are, why you do certain things, why you like certain things, and you can find out your flaws, things you can work on, and your strength. It's great questioning yourself, and which is why I think I want to end with the day saying, question everything, and most of all, above all, question yourself. Ask more. Ask more to yourself about. Ask more about yourself to you. Think about it. Yeah.